Days are getting shorter, weather is becoming a tad bit breezy, and leaves are literally falling off the trees. You feel the shift too, right? This shift is literally called seasons changing. It's so crazy how one season comes and one season goes. And I know I'm gonna miss the summer weather. And sometimes I low-key wish it could be summer forever, even though I'm definitely a fall girly. But the reality is, it's literally the same for our life and our business. They go through seasons too. Motivation gets shorter, desires change, and our goals slowly fall away. And friend, I want to know, how do you mentally prepare for seasons changing? I remember the time that I literally hated change. Like, to tell me to pivot was like telling me to jump off a building, because be so for real, the plan is the plan. But the reality is, things are literally bound to change. So seasons changed. Now what? Listen, friend, I get it. Having to put on 100 layers because it's literally freezing and it only be 5 p.m. and it's already dark outside. I think the biggest struggle is that we literally work for ourselves and there is no one here to hold us accountable. Now, if you don't know who I am Demaya Unique, your multi-passionate, purpose-pushing, visionary friend. And I have literally been a creative online or digital entrepreneur for the last 3 years. Okay. So I have literally had to put systems, boundaries, and all of those things in place. And listen, friend, it can become very discouraging and lonely as the seasons change in the world around us, our personal life, and our business. Honestly, some things happen in our life and we simply have no control over them. Or sometimes our desires and our goals may change, right? In our personal life or even in our business. Or literally, sometimes God will just lead you in a different way. So we know that seasons change. So the question is, what do we do? And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about how to mentally prepare for seasons changing in your life and in your business. Okay, so here are 4 ways that you can mentally prepare when seasons change. Number 1, reflect. I reflect very often on my vision or the direction for my life. And to do that, I like to journal or document my process. So things you want to think about is, where am I now? What am I currently learning? What are my current struggles? What areas do I need to improve in? What areas do I need to grow at? What are my bad habits? You kind of want to, again, document these things because you're able to see your progress and you're able to see when things are shifting in your life. The other thing that I love to do in reflection is also to revisit my vision board, to essentially see, like, what does God want for my life? What is God saying? So again, I like to look at vision board as what is God saying over my life. So it's a little different of a concept. I've talked about that in other videos, but essentially, like, when you look up the biblical word vision, it simply means divine revelation or divine direction. So it simply is, what is God saying? And so you really want to take some time to reflect over, what is God saying for my life, for this season of my life, and all of those things. Number 2 is an audit. Right. So after you reflect, now it's time to audit your life. And in this audit, you are taking inventory of your life and your commitment. So these are the things that I love to do on a quarterly basis, meaning every 3 months, every 12 weeks. I want to take inventory of my life. I want to take inventory of my commitments. And I also want to do 2 things. I want to do an alignment check to make sure that I'm in alignment with God's plan for my life, meaning I'm in alignment with what God is saying for my life, right? I'm in alignment with the will of God, the ordained plan of God. I am in alignment with that, right? Because we can commit to so many different things. This is the line. This is the path. And sometimes we are on this side or we're on that side taking our own path. So every 3 months, I want to analyze and audit, am I in the will of God? Am I going at the pace that God wants me to go at, right? Like, what does God want from me in my life in this season, in this quarter, right? And so again, that alignment check. Next, you want to do a check and see if your plate is balanced. God had me do this exercise a little minute ago, and I've made this a practical exercise in the intentional living planner. And again, like, I want to analyze, is there too much on my plate, right? Like, I need to write down everything that's on my plate, everything that I'm responsible for. And is it realistic, right? Like, am I committed to too many things? Am I trying to do too much? And so again, like I said, every quarter, I like to use the intentional living planner that is by detail to plan the next 3 months. And so the alignment funnel template is in there for the visionary. It has, okay, what is at your core? Who are you? What your purpose is, what your assignments are, what is God speaking as far as the vision for your life in this season. Like, it has all of those things for you to go through so that, again, you can make sure that you are in alignment. And then I have the balance plate template that, again, helps you to make sure that my life is making sense for the season that I'm in. The commitments that I have make sense for the season that I am in. So if you are looking to prepare for the last 3 months of 2024 and you want to end this year with a bang, please make sure you go grab your intentional living planner. It is undated, so you don't have to worry about the dates or anything like that. Again, it's undated and you can pretty much use it, even for next year and the year after that. And so again, go grab your intentional living planner. Okay. Number 3, plan. You need to plan in order to mentally prepare for the season that you are in. Seasons change. Now what do, right? You need to plan. In order to plan, I like to set intentions. I like to set 3 targets, and I like to set my routines and habits. So the first thing, setting intentions, I like to think about who I want to become. Right? Like, who, and again, this touches on your identity. Like, who do I want to become? Right? Because you're always growing from one level to the next. So who do I want to become? The next thing is setting 3 targets. How will I become this? So once you think about who I want to be, who I want to become, not because of what I've seen from others, but because I am taking time to reflect on, what does God want? What do I truly want? When it's uninfluenced, right? So again, your 3 targets is how I will become this. This is the plan. And then after that, you want to set your routines and your habits. This means what I can do on a daily basis to reach my targets. Okay? So for example, if I set an intention, I say, hey, I want to become a woman who, first things time she wake up in the morning, like, she's spending, a lot of time in the presence of the Lord, reading her Bible, studying, all of those things. Like, I want to be a woman that walks with the Lord. I want to be a woman that is sensitive to the voice of the Lord. Like, these are the things that I want to become, right? And so if that's my intention, right? Now my targets are going to be, okay, I want to read a chapter a day within, my Bible plan. I want to, make sure I pray every single day before I get started in my day. I want to, and that could be my second target. And then my third target can be, I want to make sure that I am doing 1 hour of stillness every single day, right? So those are my 3 targets. Now, when it comes down to my routines and my habits, those routines, again, is your morning routine. So how can I set up a morning routine to help me reach my target and my intentions? What habits can I set in place to help me reach my targets and my intentions? So whether that is, again, for habits or routines, getting up in the morning, I'm getting up earlier, right? So getting up maybe at 6 a.m., even though I'm not a 6 a.m. girly, but that is, again, how that plan works together. So your intentions, your targets, your routines and habits. Okay. So that's number 3. Number 4, prepare to pivot. Prepare to pivot. I think this is the the one that is not the most important, but it really is important as you are going throughout this new season of life, this new season of your business, is to remember goals are not final, meaning you don't put something on a paper that cannot be erased, that cannot be changed, right? So say you set goals and then you get to week 3 of October and you're like, nah, this is not working, right? Like, this isn't working. Friend, let me get real close and personal. Pivot, okay? Pivot, friend, pivot. Listen, I touch bases with my goals on a weekly basis, okay? Week to week basis. Like, every single quarter, I set my intentions, I set my targets, I set my routines and habits. But the reality is every single week I'm checking in to see, okay, are we on track for our target? Did I kind of overextend myself with these goals? Like, because again, you are able to see on a week to week basis, is this attainable? Like, you know, and if I'm not obtaining it, why am I not I'm speaking gibberish. Why am I not obtaining it? Right. And so that weekly reflection every single week helps you. And then you're able to see, like, is it because I'm just being lazy, or is it simply there's too much on my plate for me to realistically do this in this season? It just doesn't make sense for this season. Right. And so again, reaching your goals is not a sprint. And sometimes it genuinely just takes time. What you think, you know, maybe you thought, oh, I can lose 30 pounds in 3 months, right? But then as you're consistently going to the gym, you're doing X, Y, and Z, but you're not necessarily seeing that change, or it's too much of a press, right? And something that I've been reading in the Atomic Habits book is you want to create a spectrum for your goals from very easy to very hard, like for working out or whatever the case may be. So if you can't commit to an hour, can you commit to 10 minutes, right? Also, something that I think is very important when it comes down to habits or goals is not to, I again learned, you don't want it to be where your action steps or your goals are like not pushing you, but you also don't want to make them too hard. So you don't want to make them where it's in a sense like, oh, like I'm bored, right? Like I could do that in my sleep. You know what I'm saying? And the example like that Atomic Habits gave is like, if you're playing tennis and you're an expert and you're playing against a 5-year-old, you're going to get bored. You're not really going to lock in, right? But when you're trying to build that habit, it is important to start off with the easy things and like build yourself up. So if you could go to the gym for 5 minutes and you could do that in your sleep, maybe you want to go to the gym for 30 minutes, right? And so maybe that is considered your very easy. And so that's something that you really want to think about. Like your goals should not be so hard that it's just like, this is unattainable. Like I realistically cannot do this. Like I'm trying, but I'm just not reaching the target every day. You want to then audit, reflect, and then pivot. Okay. And so this is how you will consistently reach your goals and consistently show up in the season that you are now in. Okay, friend, I hope this made all the sense in the world. And I hope these 4 things help you in this new season that you're in. Happy fall, happy winter, happy burr month. Okay, September, October, November, December. It is literally the last quarter of 2024. Once October hits, you will have 90 days, right? My question to you is, what will you do with the last 90 days of the year? Seasons change. Now what? Now that is all. That is it, friend. I will see you in the next video. Love you.